Racing games and sims have been around for a long time now, going way back to Night Driver on the Atari 2600. But racing sims seemed to reach the pinnacle of realism when Papyrus released NASCAR Racing, which made you feel as though you were really rolling around the track at 180 miles per hour. But now, if you want speed and lots of it, Papyrus is doing that voodoo that they do so well in IndyCar Racing 2. This sim will take the player into the cockpit of an IndyCar, a speed monster easily capable of speeds over 200 miles per hour, and capable of handling it like it's on rails if you know how to drive it. You may be wondering just how fun driving a car around a track can be. I know that when I see auto racing on television, I usually look for the remote control to change the channel ASAP. And a lot of people may think the same of racing sims that don't have guns or hovercraft involved. But there's a big difference between watching and doing, and Papyrus really brings that through in their games. In fact, I think that these racing sims are among the most intense video gaming available on today's PC once you get into it. The same intensity you'd have when powering through a turn at 200 miles per hour in real life is pretty darn close to the way it feels when you get into a Papyrus game. IndyCar Racing 2 is a good example of how the folks at Papyrus can bring the entire experience of real IndyCar racing to the PC gamer. Of course, you get to do all the racing, but the sim goes far beyond just driving and lets the player delve into all the sophistication of the details that go along with the sport. You'll be able to drive, adjust, and test drive the car. Then you can begin your quest for an IndyCar championship as you qualify and race on all the individual tracks. Driving the car is what everyone is buying the game for, and it's what the designers at Papyrus do better than anyone else. They were somehow able to give the true feeling of racing the car through the visual and audio signals of the PC. You know when your back tires are slipping a little, you know when you're pushing your car too hard, and you can just feel the car itself. All the other cars have great AI, so they respond very much like human drivers. They back off when they need to, and they take curves in individual strategic ways. And taking a pit stop is handled like it has been in previous Papyrus releases. The player can pause the game and set instructions for the crew, then the game can be restarted, and the pit crew will follow those instructions whenever the driver pits. Modifying the car is one of the premier features that true IndyCar enthusiasts are going to love. Each track is different, and your car needs to be adjusted specifically for each track to get the best performance. The garage is where you take your car to make all necessary refinements, like the angle of the front and rear wings, bias adjustments, gear ratios, tire pressure, shock tension, and virtually everything else. And those changes can really be felt when you take your car out onto the track. If you take some air out of your right front tire, you'll be able to notice the effect that it has on your car's performance. IndyCar Racing 2 will come with all of the trimmings that you want and expect. A ton of camera views will be available, and you've got to have the replay feature so you can watch your finest performances and most furious crashes. My personal favorite extra feature is the paint kit that lets you customize your IndyCar in virtually any way you want. And the looks of the cars and the entire sim in general is going to be awesome, with the ability to run an SVGA for those machines that can handle it. If you loved NASCAR racing, IndyCar Racing 2 is shaping up to be all that was and more. And if you own NASCAR already, don't discount IndyCar Racing because these machines are totally different animals that go faster and handle better than anything out on the tracks today. So get ready to go really, really fast when IndyCar Racing is released sometime in November.